Welcome to the Prop Shield channel. In today's video, we're covering a little bit of market replay for the past 2 months of 2026 for opening range breakout. So playing it through had, plus over $3,000. This is with our balance settings and also with the score filter paired with our adaptive stop and our signal panel. Right here, you can see all of our executions. So with our adaptive stop, it does cut out, maybe around 10% of trades if the ATR or the opening range was too high. Since we are filtering the first 30 minutes, um, most of the signals get through that because some of the whipsaw moves have already happened. The first 30 minutes, it really kind of was almost a wash over the 2 months. I think it was plus 50 ticks. So it's really hard to get that first 30 minutes with all those wild moves. So we want this to be more consistent. And so we just filter out the first 30 minutes. And for the next hour, actually the 45 minutes, it stops at 9:45 Chicago time. So the idea behind that is it's already made its moves. And with the opening range, pretty much you want it to happen quick. You don't want to hold on to trades that long. It's not what it's designed for. Versus trend trailer, that can handle a little, some more time on it, how it's designed. And so in the signal panel, you see that final one ended up being blocked. It just had a low score. It keeps all of the information, tells you it's accepted, it's not accepted. And the adaptive stop will say it's accepted, and then the score will say yes or no. So what we'll do is we'll just put it all the way back to January 1st. There were some potential trades on January 2nd. So, but you see the total $3,120 with the balance settings, adaptive stop, and score filter. And then in there, in our signal panel, it just says, things are connected. And we're not using our runner engine on this yet. That's for like if you want to, you have a few contracts doing the base, just getting the normal take profit, and then you have an extra contract as a runner. So there we go. We'll slow it down now. So you see things that are plotting. And there are no auditory alerts. This is meant to be traded with the signal panel to be auto traded. So no auditory alerts needed. The auditory we have is on our actual signal panel when you arm, disarm, things like that. So this, again, it was before our session, but that one would have been, that was rejected by the signal panel on that one. It made too large of a move. The ATR was too much for the risk profile for it. The score was 60. So it canceled that one out. Didn't allow it. There we go. Got us in the trade. And so in the panel, like the stop ATR, it wasn't too high, nor was the OR, the opening range. So it accepted the trade. And then it does a 1-to-1 risk after that.
Order canceled.
And so we are finding with the benefit of the adaptive stop is it does a pretty good job of, your profit targets and your stop loss of what it should be, instead of just always going for 40 ticks, 40 ticks, 80 ticks, 80 ticks, whatever you're doing. You see just blasting up, had this. This had a really high score, and the adaptive stop just would reject it only because of how large of a move it was. It's determining most likely it's too much risk and there's not enough left to capture, the profit based upon the risk that you would put on. And so this one, it just completely would turn around against you. And this one, it just doesn't even look correct. It made, it filled requirements to print. And so that's why we need a score filter. So the trend, liquidity, momentum, volatility, structure, they don't total 70 between all 5 of them, reject trade. So between both of those, it's potentially going to reject, 20% plus. And so we have a good, pretty good win rate, I believe over 65%, and a 1-to-1. So those numbers line up.